right, good evening, board members and community. I'm happy to share some updates. As always, we've had a very busy previous month. Want to start off by recognizing veterans. Last Friday, we did observe Veterans Day, and as an Army veteran myself, I'm of course humbled to acknowledge Veterans Day and to express my gratitude to my fellow veterans who are also within our school district. Your selflessness and your dedication to our country and our schools is absolutely commendable, and we've got pictures to go along with it. Go back to that previous slide. Don't skip me. Alvanisha Gus, who is one of our healthcare assistants, a member of the Army National Guard, and then that's yours truly, with my very first car, which was a Ford Escort, in case anyone's curious. Also, next slide, Dion Roberts, a data administrator for our child nutrition program, and our own Daryl Doc Watson, who is part of our safety and security team, a member of the Marine Corps, retired Marine. So thank you to all of our veterans who have served, and if we missed anybody.
Of clarification.
Yes.
I have been told that a Marine is never retired. They're always a Marine.
I bet he would agree. I absolutely bet he would agree with that. But thank you so much for your service to all of our veterans. Next, we always have a variety of things that we're celebrating in any given month. And during this month, it's National Education Month, and we're celebrating the power of education to transform the lives within our community. And it's a perfect time to highlight this as we think about the quality of education that we want to provide and what that means in shaping our future. And we all know that education is the key to a brighter future. And so I do want to thank all of our dedicated CMO leaders, school leaders, our educators, our families, and our scholars for the work that they do and their continued commitment to ensure that we're giving a high-quality education throughout our entire community. It's also National Parent and Family Engagement Month, and this is a great time to celebrate families. It's designated to recognize the contributions of families and parents across the nation, and also to encourage our schools to make sure that we're deepening those partnerships and increasing awareness of the role that families play within the education of our children. Actively participating in this observance can help improve our scholars' academic achievement, and it's also a good lift for our NOLA PS's Portrait of a Graduate Guidebook, and really excited that our guidebook does have a parent component to help connect our families to that Portrait of a Graduate as well. And so that's a valuable tool to help students be prepared and to foster that whole child development, which of course can lead to higher graduation rates and a brighter future. Additionally, it's Diabetes Awareness Month, and this is really important. One of our parts of one of our components of Portrait of a Graduate is being a healthy human, and when we think about being a healthy human, we think about that from a physical as well as mental health standpoint. And diabetes is a serious health problem. I want to focus specifically on type 2 diabetes. Over time, this issue can cause too much sugar to build up in the blood, and high levels of sugar in the blood can lead to many other problems with the heart, with nerves, as well as the body's defense systems. Type 2 diabetes affects 37 million people in the U.S., and more than 500,000 adults in our state have this disease, according to the American Diabetes Association. Our state's health department says that more than 54,000 children under the age of 18 are obese and could lead to developing type 2 diabetes. So I do want to encourage our community to do your research and live healthy, get those wellness checks on a regular basis so that we can preempt these types of problems before they arise. And you can learn more by visiting diabetes.org. It's also American Indian and Alaska Native Heritage Month, and so we're honored to celebrate this month. This is a time to celebrate and acknowledge the rich and diverse cultures, traditions, and contributions of our American Indian and Alaska Native communities. Throughout the month of November, we have had the opportunity to learn more about the history, the art, the music, as well as showcasing a variety of facts about this community and doing so through our social media platforms. And it's a chance for all of us to just deepen our understanding of the resilience, the heritage, and the vital role that this community has played in shaping our entire nation. So by embracing the spirit of unity, we can further enrich our educational experiences as well as build a more inclusive community. So looking forward to continuing to celebrate American Indian and Alaska Native Heritage Month. It's also National Homeless Youth Awareness Month, and there was a sleep out and the NACI conference as well during the course of this month. And homelessness, as we know, is a problem within our city. November is a time to recognize the plight of our homeless children and families, with as many as 2.5 million youth experiencing homelessness in the U.S. These young individuals face instability, a great deal of trauma, and numerous dangers while struggling to survive without being sufficiently housed. The National Association for Education of Homeless Children and Youth, or NACI, is dedicated to promoting educational equity and supporting all of our families. Asia Buckner, who is our own homeless parental involvement specialist, is attending the NACI conference this week, and I did have the pleasure of giving greetings to the conference earlier this week. And Ms. Buckner has been working with homeless families for more than 27 years, and in that time she has helped more than 300 homeless scholars to make sure that we're providing them the resources. And we really appreciate the advocacy that she provides to our families to ensure that our scholars are enrolled, that they're attending school, and that they have every opportunity to be successful. In honor of this month, Ms. Buckner is encouraging all of us to participate in the NACI 5K run, and it was this past Sunday, so maybe you did participate in it, and also seeking donations for Covenant House's Sleep Out. And she is also always looking for volunteers to help support this work. And if you're interested in learning more about the Sleep Out, go to sleepout.org. And again, thank you to Ms. Buckner for her tireless dedication and the work that she does to support our homeless youth and families. For our Mental Minute this month, I want to talk about gratitude. This is National Gratitude Month, and I encourage everyone to take a mental minute to really reflect and express what you're thankful for. I want to personally just express how thankful I am to be able to serve in the capacity that I do, to be able to know that the work that we're doing is helping to shape the lives of our future, and to just empower our young people to be able to do anything that they believe they want to do. So take a mental minute and be grateful for all that you have within your life. Even with the trials and tribulations, the world can be a hard, tough place, but I believe there's always a room for gratitude. And gratitude fosters kindness, resilience, and a sense of belonging. It helps create a culture of appreciation and unity, and we need this not only within our school district, but within our entire community. So let's celebrate and practice gratitude, not just this month, but all year long. And you all know that we've started a couple of different ways to make sure that we're amplifying student voice. And one of them is our Voices of Future Leaders, and it's a town hall and podcast series. And want to thank Sarah T. Reed Scholars for being a part of our Voices of Future Leaders podcast recently. I had an amazing experience being able to talk to them about equity and social justice, and also what they need to feel supported within our community as young people, and just giving them a platform to be able to express themselves. And our goal with these monthly podcasts is just that, to elevate and amplify the voices of our scholars and make sure that we're supporting them and empowering them to be successful. So you can see and hear more about our podcasts on our website and, of course, our YouTube channel. And then October, we had another edition of our Joyful Educator. This was an October edition, so we did have a costume party to go along with it. Lots of fun. Thank you so much to our partners at the Children's Museum for hosting us. And we had Big Frida came out, and she judged our Halloween costume contest for our teachers. And it was just a great way to give our teachers a space to relax. And again, as always, to let them know how much we love them, we value them, and we appreciate them. Our next convening will be Tuesday, November 28th at 5 p.m. at Anna's Place, and we look forward to continuing to pour love and let our teachers know that they are valued. Recently, I also began doing lunch and learn with a number of our schools. And this is just an opportunity to break bread with some of our scholars and just listen to about their hopes and dreams and learn more about what they're doing in school and what they want to do beyond school. And so during this time, we chatted about hopes and dreams, and we had conversations that were really profound and great feedback for me. I'd like to thank State Representative Matthew Willard, who joined us at the Arthur School. Had a great conversation with a number of our scholars, and Demetric Mercandale from Congressman Troy Carter's office also joined us there as well. We also went to Baby Ben Franklin Elementary, and Senator Royce Duplessis joined us there and enjoyed the conversation with our scholars. So stay tuned for more opportunities, and for any of our schools that are out there, if you are wanting to be next up, let us know. We are getting our schedule together for the next semester so that we can continue doing lunch and learns. November is Family Literacy Month and National Parent and Family Engagement Month, and we want to make sure that we are continuing to focus on the importance of literacy. So we did lattes and literacy to kick off this month, and this was just a way to encourage reading, and we appreciate PJ's Coffee for partnering with us. On November 3rd, they offered a 25% discount if you brought a book in, and we did see a number of people who were enjoying lattes and literacy, and had some local authors who also participated with this. They included Jared the Dreamer, Dr. Mayshell, and Casey Ferran McKee. And we just want to thank them for joining us and helping to promote literacy within our community. Last week, we also had our second Hispanic Town Hall, and this took place at Mahalia Jackson, and it was really a pleasure to be able to address our families, our Hispanic families, and to really make sure that we were being inclusive in our efforts. And I had an opportunity to speak to them about NOLA PS Evolve, our new strategic plan, specifically around effective communication, high-quality schools, as well as student, staff, and community well-being, and had an opportunity to answer any questions from them, which was a really robust Q&A, and really enjoyed the scholars who performed for us during that evening. And so much more to come as it relates to ensuring that inclusiveness is part of how we do business with our entire community in NOLA PS. And now we've got exciting news, and you see these amazing young scholars on the front row here are from the Arthur School. And we are so excited to be able to congratulate Dolores T. Arthur School for Young Men for earning charter status in the National Speech and Debate Association. Yeah. Y'all, this is the highest honor that a school can achieve within the association, and it places them among the nation's top, most competitive and prestigious programs for debate. And they're currently alongside Newman School as the only two schools within our greater New Orleans area to hold this distinction. And the debate team members are Jordan Brown, where's Jordan? Dwayne Powell, Vincent Leto, Derek Norris, Christian Warren, and Jacob Schreiber. And their coaches are Blake Ziegler and Jeffrey David Swift. And of course, we have our school leader here, our CMO leader, Byron Arthur. And we do have some certificates for you guys. And before we come up for certificates, I do want to see if the board has any questions or comments about this amazing experience and accomplishment, and let you know how proud we are of you.
Board members, I have many nice things to say and questions, but I'll first defer to you, Dr. Batiste.
Oh, well, I want to say congratulations to the young men and to this fine honor that you brought to yourselves, to your school, and to this community. We're grateful to have you here, and you're just another indication of why we sit here, because we want to see young people like you thrive. So congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations as well. and you hear all the negative things about youth. And so it's really inspiring to hear these great things and this great accomplishment that you made and making us very proud in NOLA Public Schools. So thank you very much.
So I don't mean to call anybody up to the microphone on the spot, but I'm going to do exactly that. Young men who are here this evening, I would love for any of you to get up and just speak at the microphone about some of the topics that you have engaged with in debates, maybe some of the ones that have been most difficult, or where you think you've performed particularly well. Please. And be sure to, once again, reintroduce yourself and your grade. We'd love to hear that as well.
Jordan Brown, 11th grade, so I'm a junior. Okay. We all asked about topics we debated so far this year. In the event that I do, which is Lincoln Douglas 101, I have debated the United States federal government ought to guarantee the right to housing. So, of course, you may ask, what's the right to housing? What does that look like? That has been up to us to determine what that looks like. We have taken multiple approaches, one of those being right to housing for teachers, which is like phenomenal. It's like something we truly need. Another one is for people that were formerly incarcerated or felons, which is very big in New Orleans, as we all know. And right now, this current topic is the United States federal government ought to prohibit fossil fuel extraction on federal public lands. All know how federal, how extraction of fossil fuels hurts our communities or like hurts our air, our water. So it's like key topics like this, world schools, they've debated majority of topics.
The more the merrier. Come on up.
Everybody.
Vincent Lito, 11th grade.
And Derek Norris, 10th grade.
So we do World Schools Debate, which is 5-person a team, 3 people in one round. One of my favorite topics we've debated this debate season, this school year, was this house should regret the commodification of water. So it was a very interesting topic, and a bunch of people took different approaches to how you should address the commodification of water. One of my favorite ways to look at it was the tragedy of the commons. So, like, I'm sure most of you are familiar, if everybody has access to a resource, then will that resource be depleted by society? And the way we viewed it as a team, we thought it was a good thing to address on side opposition, opposing the commodification of water, because, well, selling water is not great. Like, having water being for sale is, But anyways, that's my favorite topic from this season. Derek?
If I had to say one of my favorite topics, it was one that we prepped, I think, one of the first ones we prepped, it was So one of the topics that we prepped was, which was my favorite, was should, I think, I forgot what it was, but it was something, it was like, should there be school vouchers? I can't remember exactly what it was, and one of my favorites I was go for was side proposition, which I think was against it. And it basically was talking about how like school vouchers would like usually take smarter individuals out of like public schools and put them into private schools by paying for their tuitions and so. I believe there was so arguing for that one. It was fun. We didn't win the round, but still was like we still had a lot of fun prepping, a lot of fun debating. It was glad for me to spend time with just to get, that was really my first time getting into World Schools Debate, or in debate in general. This was like my starting year, so going to Green Hill, attending our own tournament, and like going to I think John Paul the Great last weekend was one of the funnest things for me to do. And if I were to bring Benson back on the mic, but one of my least favorite topics was not a prepped one, it was an impromptu motion, which is a motion that a that the speech team, that not the speech, but the people hosting the debate would create. And one of my least favorite topics was should social medias be liable for the the contents that people have posted on it. That had to be my least favorite one.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Look at these young men, huh? We really appreciate y'all being here. We appreciate you waiting so long for your chance to speak. And the last thing I will say is when I went to your school for one of your academic awards ceremonies, I found myself accidentally dressed exactly like one of your students in gray pants and a blue blazer and a very similar tie. And unintentionally tonight wore the same tie. So one of these days I'm going to see y'all and be in a different colored tie. But thank you so much for being here and for all the work that you're doing. And gentlemen, best of luck as you continue on in your endeavors.
I'm just going to add, I hope that y'all look into a career of service public service, because we really need thoughtful people to run for office, and people who know how to look at an issue from multiple sides and understand and be able to debate on issues and not on politics or personality. So I hope y'all consider a career in public service. You'd really do a great benefit to this city. Thanks.
I would just like to take a little personal moment to say it was a pleasure to see Mr. Brown's mother here tonight, who worked with me very early in her career. And it's just amazing to see how you've developed this young man. Should be a very proud mother. And as she told me, she said you helped raise her as well. A lot of kudos to you as well. Thank you.
All right, we've got certificates, and we'd love to get a picture. All right, thank you again, young men. And I still have a few more slides.
How many more months do we have? How many more, like?
Oh, no, that was it for the national stuff. Yeah, I've just got a couple of more slides, and then I have a data presentation as well. And so first of all, I want to congratulate our very own Deputy Superintendent, Dr. Fatima Fulmore, yes, for being selected for the next cohort, which is the second cohort for the Michael Casserly Urban Executive Leadership Institute. And we are thrilled to congratulate Dr. Fulmore for this acceptance. And the program is hosted by the Council of Great City Schools and aims to enhance leadership skills for urban superintendents. Dr. Fulmore has expressed her excitement about contributing to the cause of urban education. And of course, she looks forward to the 8-month program that's ahead. And I just want to personally commend Dr. Fulmore, my deputy doc, for just her steadfastness and her intentionality around this thing called education. And she is a rock star, and I could not be more proud and excited for her. And I know she's going to be an asset to the program that she's a part of, and really excited to see how she moves through not only this program but her future, because she's it, y'all. She's a rock star. Yep. And then that's me. I'm really honored and grateful to be named one of New Orleans City Business 2023 Power 50 Most Influential People in Greater New Orleans area. Who knew? And this is a recognition that I really just see it as a testament of the community engagement that this position allows me to do, and to just be able to be out in the community and to be a part of this robust and thriving community. And of course, there's the article is in NewOrleansCityBusiness.com. Pick up your copy at a newsstand today. So we do want to make sure that the entire community is aware that enrollment opens on November 28th. And this is our main round of enrollment for kindergarten through 12th grade. You can find all of our schools within NOLA Public Schools Common Application Process, or NCAP, so that families can make decisions for their schools. And we do encourage families to list as many choices as they can to maximize their chances on finding the right school, and so they can select up to 12 schools. And NCAP, of course, is what used to be known as One App, and it is NCAP now. And we do encourage families to pay close attention to that November 28th date, and it runs through January 19th. So we're all in and hope that you are as well. My final announcement before moving to the data report is that NAPSE, the National Alliance for Black School Educators Conference, will be here in New Orleans, November 29th through December 3rd. And this organization has tapped me to give a welcome address and to be involved with several of the programs. And I'm also on the founding members of our state-affiliated organization, which is the Louisiana Alliance for Black School Educators, along with several members of our cabinet. Courtney serves with me on the PR team for them, and Dr. Fulmore is our recording secretary. I'm the parliamentarian. And we're excited to be able to have that chapter here in New Orleans, but really look forward to supporting the hosting of the national conference. And we do have several opportunities for school visits during that time. Warren Easton has graciously agreed to serve as a site visit school, and we'll have several other opportunities for our students to perform during the course of that conference. So look to see more about that. That's the week after Thanksgiving. And I'm going to pause there to see if there are any questions on anything that I've stated, and then I will dig into our data report.
No questions, but Dr. Williams, on behalf of the board, I just wanted to first wish you a happy belated Veterans Day.
Oh, thank you.
And also congratulate you and Dr. Fulmore on your achievements. We're very glad to have you here, and I think you said it's National Gratitude Month or something like that.
It is,
so,
yeah.
we're very grateful for you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. All right, so let's dig into some data, y'all. All right, so as you know, the Louisiana Department of Education did release its school performance scores, or SPS scores, for the 22-23 year recently, and we've, of course, had an opportunity to analyze that data. So this first slide is just our overall district performance, and NOLA Public Schools did see an increase in its district score, just over 3 points from the previous year. We maintained an overall letter grade of a C. And when you look at our pre-pandemic level, we have rebounded from the pre-pandemic. In fact, we're 2 points higher than what we were in 2019. Yeah, that's a good celebration. You know, we've got a lot of work to do, but let's count our wins, right, and definitely celebrate the improvements that are being made. Next slide is our overall district performance. We of course want to continue to making progress year over year. And when we think about district performance and you know, we look at these as letter grades, of course. I'm really excited to see that we have more A's and B's and fewer D's and F's, because that was certainly a point of contention for me as we looked at it in the previous year. So students in NOLA Public Schools continue to make progress. 81% of our schools continue to receive progress letter grades of A or B. And of course, that progress letter grade is about growth. You know, so even if we are, you know, not quite meeting the mark in terms of the actual scoring, we do want to ensure that our scholars are still growing. And so those progress scores matter a great deal. Schools are awarded those growth points for reaching the growth to mastery goals. Students who are performing well on assessments compared to students with similar demographics, as well as students maintaining a high level of achievement year over year. And several district schools demonstrated significant growth with their overall SPS. We had 30 schools that showed an overall improvement of at least 5 points during the since 22, and this included 4 of our alternative schools. And I really want to you know, celebrate the fact that we did have our alternative schools making some amazing gains as well. Of those schools, we had 8 schools that improved by more than 10 points, which is really commendable. And an additional 22 schools improved by between 5 and 10 points. And the schools are listed here. I do want to point out that Rosenwald Collegiate Academy, which is of course is no longer open, but they improved by 26.4 points. Still deserve their name to be mentioned there. And we had Renew here earlier, and Renew Schaumburg is the top growth school in the state, the top growth K-8 in the state with 18.3, and that is so significant. Was that your school, Ms. Eames? Yes. Yes, and so and you can see all of the numbers. Just really a great testament to the work that's being done at our schools, and we're just really grateful for our CMO leaders and as well as our teachers for their leadership. I do want to mention that with the alternative schools, Travis Hill improved by 28.4 points. New Orleans Accelerated High School, 17.6 points. The Net Charter High School, 15.2. And the Net 2 improved by 8.9 points. And all of those are definitely significant and worthy of commendations. Next, we want to look at our overall district performance. We did have 21 schools that improved their overall letter grade, and you can see the schools listed here. And I include this slide because, you know, it's one thing to know that you know, we're having the proficiency that we're having, but we always want to ensure that our schools are growing, and this is a testament to the amount of growth that we're seeing within quite a few of our schools during the course of this last year. And so you can just see that those particular numbers on that slide. Indicating the amount of growth that our schools are achieving. And this leads to our overall district score going up as well. So across the district, our distribution of A's and B's increased, and our count of D and F schools decreased. And I do think that matters a great deal. And so we can look at Audubon Charter School improved from a B to an A. We had Carver as well as Warren Easton improved from a C to a B. We had 2 schools that improved from an F to a C, and that was Audubon Charter Gentilly as well as Rosenwald. And you may recall that Audubon Gentilly was one of our schools that had to go through comprehensive eval last year. And they did receive a contract with contingencies, and I'm so super proud and excited for the work that they've done and the improvements that they're making. Also had a number of schools to move from an F to a D, and of course, we had 13 that improved from a D to a C. So growing a letter grade is significant. So congratulations to all of our leaders and teachers and scholars and families for that improvement. Next, as we look at our overall district improvement, again, we can see the increase of A's and B's and decrease in D's and F's within the chart there. When we think about our progress index, I mentioned before that 81% of our traditional schools did have an A or a B for that progress index, which again is significant. That means that growth is actually taking place. Next, our top gains honorees. We had 16 schools that were recognized for top gains, and this simply means that these top gains schools have a progress index of 90 or higher, and that they are not in urgent intervention requirement for any reason. And then also 7 of our schools were named opportunity honorees, and that includes the same 90th percentile or above, and then also students with disabilities, economically disadvantaged students, or English learners are a part of their enrollment, and also they did not earn any urgent intervention required labels for any of the students, for the student groups, or for discipline within their schools. And so, of course, we always want to consider opportunities for growth. We did have 5 schools that received a letter grade of F. And I do want to point out that of these schools, we do have 3 that are up for renewal this year. And of course, we know McDonough 42 did combine with Cabdo. And then we also had MLK, which is not up for renewal this year, but the Living School, Moulton, and Lafayette Academy did receive letter grades of F, and those schools are up for renewal this year. As next steps, we want to continue to identify exemplars. When we think about the nature of charter schools, one thing is about replicating effective practices. So we're identifying those exemplars and making sure that we're sharing best practices. We want to increase teacher supports for new teachers as well as our veteran teachers. We're expanding NOLA PS Cares, and that does have a component that includes literacy. And of course, our 5-year portfolio plan will be rolled out in the spring. We will continue to engage our advisory councils, which includes our teachers as well as community and families. And then we'll continue to analyze our SPS data and use it as a tool to ensure that we're making those data-driven decisions. That includes the demographic breakdown as part of that analysis. And then continuing to engage our communities as we've always done will absolutely be a part of it. And if you want more information, then of course you can go to the the LouisianaBelieves.com website for more information and for some breakdowns in terms of where we stand within the state. And that's my data report. I do want to end my remarks by just wishing everyone a safe, happy, and healthy Thanksgiving. I mentioned gratitude earlier, and certainly this is a great time of year for that. If you're traveling, please be safe, and I hope everyone finds some joy during Thanksgiving.